outcome will be moral deprivation, environmental degradation, ethical degeneration, cultural corrosion, and spiritual deterioration. Then what is the use of such an empowerment that eventually drives people crazy? Before we support our India's empowerment, or for that matter any society, we need to know what is true empowerment. The true empowerment is not about having the rights and privileges other nations or societies do not have. It is not about taking the prerogative to police the world and attack any nation that refuses to toe the line. And empowerment certainly does not mean arming yourself with weapons of mass destruction. Empowerment of any one nation cannot be in conflict with the interest of another. True empowerment is possessing the ability to influence the world in a peaceful and positive way, as India has been doing for thousands of years and still continues to do so. However, empowerment has come to be material opulence that guarantees unlimited sense gratification, lasting happiness, and security. For some, it also implies the means for enhancement of intellectual agility, mental fortitude, physical prowess of individuals, or collectively of the entire masses of a nation. It is easy to understand why people have been conditioned by a materialistic education system. The Western concept, classically short-sighted. These short-sighted people today are involved with arrangement for the here and now, little realizing that the human body allows us to achieve something for the beyond. Humans err in understanding their true selves because they confuse the body with the self. This is as foolish as thinking a motor car to be the driver or an aircraft to be the pilot. But the Shastras provide indisputable evidence that we are not the body. We are merely embodied with a combination of 5 elements. 5 material elements that belong to the material realm of Maya, the deluding potency of the Supreme Lord. We are meant to rise above sense enjoyment, else there should be little difference between animals and ourselves, as eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, the 4 basic activities of every living entity, be it humans, birds, hawks, are the same. The distinguishing factor is the highly evolved consciousness that only human beings possess. Therefore, the primary duty of a human being is tattva jigyasa, inquiring about the truth, that is to attempt to know about the actual identity of self and super self, that is the God. We should all know where do I come from after death, where do I go? What really happens after death? Why and how was this world created? Does God really exist? Is God really a supreme power or a supreme person? All this constitute tattva jigyasa. As long as human society works on the basis of false identification, all progresses achieved so far are simply advancement in ignorance. We don't call it an advancement. Of course it is an advancement, but it is an advancement in ignorance. Even the proponents of secularism, in their writings, describe man as a social animal or a rational animal. Rationality means ability to think logically. Vedic scriptures pose the question, if the beasts, birds, and human beings, all of them concentrate only on their bodily maintenance, then what is the speciality of a human being? A dog sleeps, a man sleeps. He sleeps in an air-conditioned room, a dog sleeps on the pavement. A human being eats, a dog eats. The eating substance may differ, but the result of eating or result of sleeping is common both to the dog and to human being. A human being defends himself with a pain knife up to the total range of nuclear weapons, whereas an animal defends himself with paws, claws and all that. But defending factor is common both to the animal and to human beings. And sex is common to all. Sadly today, that this is rationality. Then what is the speciality of human being? Sophisticated performance of animalistic functions like eating and mating is not rationality, I'm sure, but trying to understand God and one's own identity. Sadly today, the entire human society has become completely chaotic. We hear news of death, only death and destruction, terror and torment. There is no safety or security. Family members have become selfish, friends have become cheats. The country's guardians have become corrupt and administrators have become exploitative. Teachers, lawyers and physicians have developed a typical commercial approach. Men and women have become immoral and unethical. Then why do you see empowerment in this chaos? Human society has become demonic. This is the result of material advancement characterized by scientific progress and technological achievements. This is the result of relative empowerment achieved merely by some Western countries. The whole world has fallen prey to systematic sense-eluding arrangements offered by rapidly advancing material civilizations. Some prominent examples are cinemas, some 24-hour TV channels, gambling casinos, nightclubs, and parks for nocturnal and sinful enjoyments, meaningless midnight sporting activities, alcoholic drinks, smoking, and clandestine sale of drugs. Men and women of immoral character addicted to sense gratification are stimulated by such pernicious facilities. The tragic situation is not confined to any particular geographical location. This is a global malady we are suffering from that forms the root cause of communalism, racism, terrorism, and various other ills of the human society. Not knowing self-control, those indulging in these passions suffer from anxiety constantly because their efforts do not always yield what they desire. Thus, many times, failures lead to dissatisfaction and consequently frustration. Therefore, they are compelled to alter or modify their unsuccessful plans to attain desired targets, even with foul means if necessary. In this way, even the so-called decent and cultured men or highly placed politicians resort to sinful and corrupt methods, many times just to maintain the standard of luxury and false prestige in the society. They always contemplate upon extensive programs of sense gratification. Every human being Every human being is given to sensory pleasures, strives for empowerment, fame, or riches, either individually or collectively. But ultimately, all riches, all achievements, and all material power return to dust with the passage of time. History offers many examples of highly empowered dynasties that were eventually vanquished, of empires that crumbled, of civilization decimated, of cultures polluted, tradition long forgotten. Even astoundingly empowered individuals like Alexander, Napoleon, Genghis Khan, Hitler, Stalin, and many others created a temporary impact in human societies in their respective times, but ultimately vanished into oblivion, merely leaving their soiled names in history. The wealth of spiritual knowledge gained by saints like Prahlad Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saints like Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, or Jesus Christ, still continues to live in the hearts of the people tens of centuries after they walked on this planet. It is they who truly empowered this tolerant nation to break storms of every kind. They awakened the soul of millions of people, making them realize their true goal in life. They inspired people to develop a samodrishti, the ability to look beyond the color of skin, creed, and nationality, and find God in everything living or inanimate. For us in the 21st century, it is still not too late to realize that our true goal is something else. We are merely wasting our time, hankering after money, fame, sense gratification, and security. The actual goal of human life is self-realization. The whole world can become peaceful once people start cultivating spiritual knowledge. We hear periodically of global efforts to organize interfaith conferences, Parliament of World Religions, or this World Conference of Humanity, Power, and Spirituality as now I'm going to face. So these are going to be held time and again. Often these sort of organizations, they are arranging these sort of conferences, but I think these are all merely exercises in futility. Why? Because people of the world can cultivate a sense of brotherhood. I speak with great emphasis on this point. Why we cannot accept everybody as our brothers? Because we don't accept, none of the religions is not going to accept a single God. A Christian has got, they have got a different God, a Muslim has got Allah, and we people have got Krishna. So they have got different fathers, different gods. So the question of universal brotherhood is simply impossible. The point is, if the God, the supreme entity, is one with individual atomic spirit souls, we are the fragmented parts of this supreme personality. You may call him Krishna, you may call him God, you may call him Allah, but always the supreme person is always one. You must always remember the chief person is always one. There cannot be more than one. If you go to any head of institution, suppose you go to a college, the principal of a college is single one. There can be so many deputies, but so-called the state head is concerned, chief minister is only one. If you go to the country level, prime minister is only one. But in case of God, why there are so many? If I go to America, I will have an American son. If I go to Pakistan, I will face a Pakistani son. No, the son is one, so God is one. So we are all brothers, and our